Gaffer, here we are 2 days before the Welling game, but it's also the day that Community Day returns to Playmore. It's always a fantastic occasion, isn't it?
Really enjoy those occasions. Because the away end gets filled with some enthusiastic young footballers, all sports, boys, girls, some of their parents, you know. So I think there's 750 tickets been given out. So that always creates a little bit of an atmosphere. I mean, our lads do a lot as well. It's great for the club to do that, bring the community in. And our lads go out quite often, as you know, to schools, clubs, hospitals, you know, whatever it is, whatever they're asked to do, they always do. So we feel we're out there in the community and take our time making sure that when they do go out, they spend a bit of time with them. And I think, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've certainly noticed a lot of youngsters. There's a lot more around on match day, a lot more around, especially, you know, all the high fives I have to do with the youngsters as you come out the tunnel. And high fives, probably not with me, no. you can't say it's a high five, but it's a five anyway. And it's good, you're signing, you know, autographs there and etc. So there's a lot of them with the kit on, so they're now getting Torquayified, which is great, which is the idea of you know, giving them a great day and hoping they come back.
I guess with the greatest respect to Maidstone, it must be a refreshing change playing a different team this Saturday. Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, we've lost both games, but you know, if you assess it like we always do, they could have quite comfortably have been 2 wins. Now I know that's after the event, and I know people, you know, it's not an excuse. It's just a fact from the reviews we've done on both games. Certainly in the first half in the FA Cup, we played really well. We played very well, and we've got to find that standard for the whole game in as many games as possible. But what is it, 35 games to go? It's not as though we're all negative in the dressing room, and hopefully a lot of people are seeing that we're in a playoff position with 35 games to go and 4 points behind the leaders. So we mustn't let that Maidstone defeat, as much as it affects us all, mess us up for the league. You know, we've got some big games coming up between now and Christmas time, and hopefully we'll see ourselves in a stronger position at the higher in the table. I mean, we joint 6th or something as far as points are concerned, and the lads are giving it a right go. You know, they train well, everything's going good there. We know we've got some good players. Everyone knows we've got some good players. We all moan a little bit if somebody has an off day, but we've got some good players that we can, I believe we can rely on to get us the success we want. You've spoken before that your players are very good at getting down to business and setting the record straight, putting disappointments behind them. And like you say, the team is still in a decent position, isn't it? And with the fixtures, particularly in November, a lot of the teams you're going to be playing are going to be in and around you. It could have a very different complexion very, very soon. Yeah,
exactly. And that's, as I say, 11 games is, you don't want to be in the bottom 3 after 11 games, because you've played enough teams to realise you're in a bit of trouble. You know, so now we've got quite a lot of games coming up, and it'll give us a chance to have a bit of a run in the league until the trophy comes around. But I believe in this group, absolutely. They believe in what we're doing, because we see that every day. And we just got to get out there and produce what we know we can, and that's the important thing, because at the end of the day, as I always say, we're trying to entertain rather than just be out there sitting back behind the ball for 90 minutes and hoping for a break. You know, we cause ourselves sometimes a few problems because we're trying to attack a lot, I think we had 9 goal scoring opportunities in the first half against Maidstone, and if 1 or 2 of them go in, it's a totally different game. You know, Laps could have had hat-trick. You know, we had other shots that were blocked on the line, etc., etc. So that's what we're aiming for, but we need that end product as far as getting a goal up, you know, being able to score 3 or 4 goals, and then anything that goes against us, refereeing decision or you know, or anything like that, we can cover if they get 1 goal that we're not happy with, like obviously the Maidstone goal. So you need to be scoring 2 or 3 so that it alleviates the 1 bit of bad luck that you might have because of whatever reason.
You mentioned on a couple of occasions that you're generally very happy with the squad. Obviously that squad's going to get stronger when you have more players returning to it.
Yeah.
Are you able to give us any update on that at all?
Yeah, well, the two players that are out, you know, I've been out a long time now, and it's still a little way to go, especially with Kevin Dawson, because it was a big injury that he had, a big injury, and unfortunately it didn't get diagnosed because it was an awkward one. He had a lot of treatment on it, but he played all through the pain really at the end of last season. So we had to, you know, we got to make sure that it's right. It was a matter of you know, a muscle coming off the bone, if you like. But he's you know, he's walking around properly now, but he's still, as I've said many occasions to you when you asked me the question, it's going to be November time, end of November probably, before we get Kevin back. So that'll be like a new signing. And then Dylan De Silva had the same, a different problem, but it was just in his quad, and he's just needed time to get rid of a sort of a niggly little pain that is stopping him running his fastest. You know, he's okay when he's half pace and that, but you know, he likes to sprint quite a lot, and we just got to get rid of that last bit of scar tissue, if you like, if that's what it is now, to get him back in the fray. And he always gives you something to come off the line when you need him. He lost a bit of confidence towards it the last couple of games he played in, because he had this little niggle in his head. We've had it diagnosed properly now, and he's on the road to recovery, so he'll be probably a week or 2.
You've mentioned before that you're always on the lookout to some extent outside the club, looking for other players. Is that still the case at the moment?
You're always looking. You can be 10 points clear at the top. You're still looking, and it's important that we feel we've got a good team. We've got a good squad when they're all fit. You can't have 25 players because you can't keep them all happy. So therefore you've got to, you know, bring in players that will improve your team, and that improves your squad because there's more competition. So it's not just numbers; it's quality, and that's what we've got to try and achieve, and we will achieve. But it just means being a bit patient. You know, we probably need, you know, a couple of positions to. We're lucky that, like for instance, our 2 strikers have scored goals, made goals for each other. They're on a bit of a go slow at the minute, but they'll get their goals back. They enjoy playing with each other. So yeah, it's just getting that sort of striker coming off the bench, but we need to make sure that they can compete with our 2 strikers that we got now, who everybody wants, by the way. You know, so but you know, at this moment in time, we're not going to rush into anything that's not going to better us.
And finally, Gaffer, obviously there's been a lot of home games recently. This is the 3rd one in succession, and the attendances of the Diploma continue to surprise all around, externally, outside, and we know what fantastic support we've got here. They remain a huge asset and a huge part of this football club, don't they?
They do, and you know, how many times do we say it? And it's right to say it. It's right to bring in the community people so that, you know, it's supporters of the future, which is great. You know, a lot of the older supporters will say, when I'm in chats with them, and they'll say, I've been here since 19, whatever it was, you know, 40 odd and 50 odd and so on and so forth. So you respect that, definitely. But that's what a club needs. It needs those regular supporters enjoying the football of their team. And come rain or shine, we all know, you know, you have success, failure, success. You know, it doesn't always go success unless you're Man City. And we're not there yet.